I'm Melanie. I've had hearing aids since I was just a few months old, and I'd like to share a little bit of my experience going to the audiologist, using and taking care of my hearing aids, and generally what my life is like. This video is meant to be an opportunity for me to introduce myself so that you understand the perspective I'll be speaking from. Throughout the series, I hope you'll be able to relate to some of my stories, learn some common troubleshooting strategies, and gain a better understanding of the hearing aid and the audiologist visiting experience. I have mild to moderate hearing loss, which has been described to me as about the same as when an able hearing person gets a bad cold or their sinuses get stuffed up. My hearing has been relatively stable throughout my life, so I haven't experienced any drastic variation in my reliance on hearing aids. I visit my audiologist every 6 months and get a hearing test yearly. I have used 2 pairs of hearing aids. Until I was 12, I used behind the ear, or B2E hearing aids, which have a tube that connects to an ear mold. The ones I currently use are called receiver in the ear, or RITE, which are connected using a wire to something similar to an earbud. I'm pretty good with taking care of my hearing aids, but when I was younger, my parents did have to make sure that my teachers and I were aware of some common issues and knew how to deal with them. My mom made sure to show all my teachers how to put in my hearing aids if for some reason I was unable to do it myself, and explained to them that they could be turned off or run out of battery, which would result in me temporarily being unable to hear. My parents also made sure the office always had a spare pair of batteries and that I always carried some in my bag. There were also some lifestyle things that they had to ask the teachers to make exceptions for. For example, my older model of hearing aids couldn't get wet because the battery chamber made direct contact with the technology inside, making them prone to water damage. On hot days, my elementary school PE teacher would spray us with a hose, and I felt more comfortable if she avoided getting my head wet. A lot of modern hearing aids will have at least some water resistance, so I wouldn't say this is as much of an issue, but I still avoid wearing them around water just to be safe. I did many extracurricular activities growing up, and the ones I spent the most time on were swimming, gymnastics, and piano. I took swimming lessons until I was about 10, and I still do gymnastics and piano. Because swimming and gymnastics are both active sports, I didn't wear hearing aids during either of them because I didn't want them to fall out. This is okay for me because I can still hear without them, but again, my teachers had to be informed just so they knew to talk a little louder or put me somewhere not in the back. I'd say my hearing without correction is just bad enough for observant people to notice, but can easily be misinterpreted as not paying attention or not understanding. It's still difficult at times though. I have encountered some more soft-spoken coaches that I have problems hearing no matter what, but most of the time I can use context clues to my advantage and ask for clarification if necessary. I will say that both the gymnastics and swimming environments are very noisy. In gymnastics, you're in a giant echoey room with what feels like hundreds of little kids screaming, and no one can hear that well underwater or with everyone splashing around them. It can be difficult to hear even for people with perfect hearing. So whatever environment you're in, if it's super noisy and you're having problems, there is a good chance that you're not alone. Piano. I have been playing since I was 3, and I've performed at recitals, competitions, events, you name it. I really do enjoy piano, and I plan to continue playing throughout college. Some people might be surprised that I place such an emphasis on music in my life despite my inherent disadvantage, but I don't see it like that. In fact, being a musician has given me an invaluable opportunity to improve my listening skills. And the technology I have now can actually help me notice subtle differences in my playing better than my previous hearing aids could, so they serve as an active benefit to my musical pursuits. So I hope I've been able to give you a pretty good idea of who I am, what I spend my time doing, and how hearing aids affect my life. I'll have more videos to talk more in depth on some topics like my social experience and tech-related stuff. Thanks for watching, and bye for now!